Good morning and welcome to the news update on VOP TV. I am Chisom Einaya. Nigerian security agencies are investigating 4 northern politicians for allegedly instigating the use of Russian flags by End Bad Governance protesters. Sources noted that these politicians from Katsina, Kaduna and Kano State played significant roles in the last year's election and are suspected of promoting unconstitutional regime change. An anonymous source revealed that 4 key actors have been identified, and they are top politicians from Katsina, Kano and Kaduna, and security agencies are closing in on them. Protests against hardship and hunger intensified on Monday, with demonstrators in the northern states waving the Russian flags and chanting "Tinubu must go" in Hausa. Protesters in Kaduna called for President Tinubu's resignation and praised military personnel patrolling the area. The Nigerian military has declared that a Russian flag flying it constitutes treason. The Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa, stated that it is a treasonable offense and it will be treated as such. Following a National Security Council meeting chaired by President Bola Tinubu, the military announced investigations into those instigating the protest and promised serious action. Kano State Commissioner of Police, Salman Gaba, announced the arrest of foreigners suspected of instigating the protest. After a security meeting with Governor Abba Yusuf, Gaba vowed to clamp down on anyone violating the state security regulations. Organizers of the hunger protest in Lagos and Osun State have been suspended for the demonstration. In Lagos, protesters halted their actions for 24 hours. The decision to suspend protests in Lagos State was made during a Congress meeting in Ojota on Monday. Organizer Hassan Soweto stated that President Bola Tinubu's speech did not address the demonstrators' demand. However, a Lagos High Court in Igbosere extended an order restricting protesters to Freedom and Peace Parks in Ojota and K2 areas. Justice S.I. Sonaike extended the order following an application by Lagos State Attorney General Lawal Pedro San. The order will remain in effect until full compliance with protocol, with a return date set for August 29, 2024 for further directives. Also in Osun State, organizers explained that the suspension was due to the ongoing Osun Osogbo Festival. Protester coordinator Ajala Adetunji highlighted security concerns and influx of tourists as reason for halting the demonstrations. In a further development, Hassan Taiwo Soweto, the national coordinator of the Education Rights Campaign, announced that those killed during the protest would be honored today. This decision was made following a Congress meeting held on Monday, August 7th. He further stated that details of the new venue will be shared soon. VOP TV's correspondent Matthew Ogunswada followed up on this development and provides further details in this report.
Voice of the People TV reporting live on the day 6 protest of the End Bad Governance happening here in Lagos. And we are here to get the reaction of people following the Congress meeting about the postponement of today's protest, and that tomorrow will be another day of protest. However, the venue for this protest has not been disclosed. Earlier, we were at the Emi Park in Ojota, but later on, the police personnel chased us to this point where we are. And we are here to get the reaction of people towards this protest and the agitation to the present administration. Take a listen.
I came out this morning finding the location, our venue where we do our peaceful protest, scanty. And I feel it's because maybe the amount of policemen here is larger than the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th and 5th day. It's much. What happened? Are they trying to help us do the protest, or are they trying to scare us? What is the problem? So right now, I don't really know. The masses cannot feel comfortable or feel free because of the fear of their life. They don't want to come out to air out their mind. So it's a big problem.
This protest has been peaceful. God who made me. This is the most peaceful protest I've ever seen in my life, because people are at one point, they don't pass their boundary. Everybody is fixed at a point and letting their voice heard. But yesterday and day before yesterday, I've noticed that some hoodlums are coming to sabotage this protest, to turn this protest violence. Even when everything is normal and our voices are being heard, some people are coming to disrupt the protest, and the police is not doing anything about it. Public figures are not even here. Nobody's mobilizing anybody. I'm the only one that is here. Public figures, influential people are not here. Where are all of you when people need you?
My idea is for the president to come down to listen to these people, listen to the voice of the street, listen to the voice of the Nigerians, and do the needful, not just listen alone, doing the needful for them. Yes, let them do the needful.
I think the government are not ignorant about what is happening in Nigeria. So many people are hungry. If you come out in the night, or let me say from 9, 10 o'clock, you see thousands of people sleeping on the roadside. No shelter, no food. You can't even feed with 1,000 naira. Myself, I have been looking for a job for a very long time now. Some places, if I go, they will tell me to bring guarantor, bring that. For salary of 10,000, for salary of 30,000 naira monthly, what can 30,000 do for you in a week? Not talk of in a month. So it's terrible. I've been coming here since Thursday last week. We began this protest, but I think some people have sabotaged this very protest. It's no longer peaceful.
So this is how we can take on the day 6 coverage of the End Bad Governance protest. We can see that at some point in time, the police personnel decided to chase us away from the original place where we are, and this is where we are at the moment. We'll continue to follow these developments closely and give you further updates as the protests unfold. Matthew Ogunswada for Voice of the People TV.
Thank you, Matthew Ogunswada. Meanwhile, the Nigerian journalist covering the End Bad Governance in Nigeria nationwide protest. In a statement released earlier this week, the union pointed out that both state and non-state actors were responsible for this act. On the 6th day of the End Bad Governance protest in Lagos, hoodlums harassed journalists from various media stations. Our correspondent Matthew Ogunswada was also harassed after completing his report. Hoodlums seized the cameraman's phone, but it was returned after intervention by Nigerian police officers and the Lagos State Police Command Public Relations Officer, Benjamin Hundeyin, who identified them as media personnel. Another journalist from a different media station was interrupted during a live broadcast. The union has called for a thorough investigation into this incident and is compiling a list of official and personnel assets of journalists that were lost, seized, and damaged to determine their value. Still on the protest, a young boy has been killed by stray bullets in Zaria on Tuesday when security operatives clashed with hoodlums in the Samaru community, who defied a curfew imposed by the Kaduna state government. Sources in Zaria reported that the curfew window allowing residents to visit nearby markets was exploited by hoodlums who regrouped and caused confusion in the area. Security operatives, including soldiers, were quickly mobilized to the scene, engaging the hoodlums with gunfire. During the chaos, a stray bullet penetrated a nearby house, tragically killing a young boy. Security forces have since reinforced their presence in the Samaru community, restoring normalcy. Other parts of Zaria remain peaceful, with only children seen playing in the street. As of Tuesday evening, the Kaduna State Police Command had not responded to inquiries about the incident. In Katsina State, the End Bad Governance protests entered their 6th day, with residents turning to prayer amidst the ongoing economic hardship, insecurity, and poor governance. Gathered at the Katsina Arabic Teachers College playground and 3 other locations, participants prayed for divine intervention to address the country's pressing issues. Men, women, and people from various walks of life joined in the prayers, which were conducted peacefully under the watchful eyes of security personnel. The residents directed their pleas to Almighty Allah, seeking relief from economic woes, hunger, insecurity, and systematic failures. To amplify their message, they observed the Akunot prayer, a special supplication for times of distress. As the movement gains momentum, organizers are mobilizing support across mosques and churches nationwide for a unified day of prayer on August 10, 2024, to seek divine intervention for the nation's challenges. You're still watching the news update on Voice of the People TV. More stories after the break. Stay with us. Welcome back. Away from protests, the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has released the final register of voters for the upcoming governorship elections in Edo and Ondo states. The National Commissioner and Chairman, Information and Voter Education Committee in the state, Mr. Sam Olumekun, disclosed this. The statement showed that Edo has 2,629,026, while Ondo State has 2,503,261 million. Olumilekon stated that the final registers were approved at the meeting of the commissioner in Abuja. He added that the register integrated new voters from the recent continuous voter registration, as well as the figures of successful applicants for the transfer from other states to the two states. Olumilekon also stated that the occupational distribution of the voters registered showed that 868,764 students constitute the majority of the voters. In the next few days, INEC would release the timetable for the collection of the permanent voter card in the two states. President Bola Tinubu has appointed 7 new heads of strategic agencies and programs under the Federal Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development. The appointment aims to enhance relief efforts and ensure the effectiveness of humanitarian and social development programs. Dr. Badamasi Lawal will lead the National Social Investment Program Agency. Mrs. Fumilayo Olotu will manage the National Social Safety Net Coordinating Office, and Ms. Aisha Alubakudi will oversee the Grant for Vulnerable Group program. Other appointees include Princess Aderemi Adebowale for the Homegrown School Feeding Program, Mr. Abdullahi Hassana, Imam for the National Cash Transfer Office, Mr. Ayuba as Executive Secretary of the National Commission for People with Disabilities, and Ms. Lami Binta Adamu Bello as Director General of the National Agency for the Prohibition of Trafficking in Persons. The President's statement issued by the presidential spokesman, Chief Ajuri Ngelale, emphasized the need for integrity and diligence in these roles to ensure that Nigerians, particularly vulnerable groups, benefit directly from the administration's reconfigured welfare program. The federal government, in collaboration with the International Cotton Advisory Committee, has launched an initiative to revive Nigeria's cotton industry. The goal is to generate over 1.4 million jobs annually in the cotton and textile sector by developing key components of the value chain, including farming, weaving, and ginning. These align with the industrialization effort of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration. During a meeting on Tuesday at the presidential villa in Abuja, Vice President Kashim Shettima and ICAC Executive Director Eric discussed the revitalization plan. Vice President Shettima called on stakeholders to create a comprehensive roadmap for the sector's recovery, emphasizing the need for action over talk. He also assured that Tinubu's administration will work to maximize opportunities in the cotton value chain and restore Nigerians' ICAC membership. Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu of Lagos State highlighted his state's strategic position to benefit from the cotton value chain, citing its factories, markets, and crucial role in the business ecosystem. The meeting underscored ICAC's commitment to developing the sector in Africa and acknowledged the organization's understanding of the complexity and the opportunities within the cotton industry. In the face of skyrocketing inflation, Nigerians are turning to local foods to manage the rising cost of living. In June 2024, inflation in Nigeria hit a 28-year high of 34.19%, with food inflation reaching a staggering 40.87%. This economic pressure has made essential food items unaffordable for many, pushing them towards cheaper alternatives. By 2022, about 172 million Nigerians, or 78.7% of the population, were unable to afford a healthy diet, underscoring the crisis. To cope, many Nigerians are now embracing more affordable local foods like cocoyam and soybeans cake, known as wara. Cocoyam, prized for its rich flavor and versatility, is increasingly replacing staples like rice and gari. Wara, a protein-rich cake made from fermented soybeans, is also gaining popularity as a cost-effective meat substitute. These changes highlight the resilience and creativity of Nigerian customers, and who are finding the new ways to stretch the food budget while maintaining nutritional values. Coming up is business, sports, and entertainment stories right after this break. Stay with us. Welcome back. Now in business, the Nigerian Customs Service will begin implementing a duty waiver on imported maize, husked brown rice, and wheat within a week, following the federal government's approval of a 150-day duty-free window to combat rising food inflation. Comptroller General Bashir Adeniyi announced this at a joint press conference in Abuja, emphasizing that the guidelines for implementation are being finalized by the Ministry of Finance to balance the interests of local farmers with the need to control inflation. This temporary duty waiver is part of the broader measures to stabilize food prices and alleviate the financial burdens on consumers. The federal government also plans to import 250,000 metric tons of wheat and maize to replenish the strategic grain reserve, set a guaranteed minimum price for commodities, and promote fortified food production. Despite these measures, the reliance on food imports has faced criticism for undermining Nigeria's agricultural policy and economic stability. The Transition Company of Nigeria has denied reports of a national grid collapse on Monday, attributing the power failure to a line tripping incident at the Egbin substation. In a statement released by TCN spokesperson Ndidi Uba on Tuesday, it was clarified that the issue was isolated to the Benin Egbin 330 kilowatt isolator and did not result in a grid collapse. The line tripping began at 2:47 p.m. due to a significant system surge that caused arcing at the Egbin transmission substation, affecting power supply in some areas. Mba assured the public that the issue was promptly resolved and power was restored to the affected areas by 6:10 p.m. However, the incident highlighted the ongoing challenges in Nigeria's electricity sector, which has experienced multiple grid collapses this year. Despite efforts to improve the sector, including the 2013 privatization of power generation and distribution companies, the national grid remains fragile, frequently causing nationwide blackouts and forcing businesses to rely on generators. In sport, the Minister of Sports Development, Senator John Enoch, announced that both local and foreign-based Nigerian athletes have received training grants and allowances, marking a significant first for home-based athletes. This support underscores the ministry's commitment to the welfare of the country's athletes. Enoch shared the news via his X account, noting the interactive section with athletes in Paris as a follow-up on their welfare. He emphasized the importance of providing financial support to all athletes representing Nigeria. Meanwhile, the Nigerian sprinter Favour Ofili qualified for the women's 200 meters final with a season best time of 22.5 seconds. In wrestling, Blessing Oburududu advanced to the semi-finals in the 68 kg category, and the Tigress basketball team made history by reaching the quarterfinals, set to face the United States. The Nigerian Women Football League has announced that Cross Rivers will host the 2023/2024 NWFL Championship. The tournament, which serves as the league's second division, is set to take place in Calabar from August 31st to September 8, 2024. Chief Operating Officer Modupe Shabi confirmed that the competitors will feature 17 clubs divided into 4 groups. Over 4 matches, teams will vie for promoting to the NWFL Premiership, with the 2 top teams advancing and 2 others being relegated to the 3rd division. In entertainment, veteran entertainer and activist Charles Oputa, popularly known as Charlie Boy, has called on Nigerian youth to escalate their efforts in the ongoing End Bad Governance protests. In a recent post on his X handle, Charlie Boy emphasized the critical nature of the fight for good governance, describing it as a battle for survival. Despite President Bola Tinubu's appeal in his nationwide broadcast on Sunday, protesters still stormed the street on Monday to protest. The exercise was, however, witnessed a very low turnout on Tuesday after demonstrators were allegedly suppressed by security operatives on Monday. Charlie Boy encouraged the protesters to go pro max in their efforts, highlighting the need for louder and more determined actions to overcome the entrenched powers. And that's it on the news update on Voice of the People TV. Do also subscribe to our YouTube channel. On YouTube, we are at Voice of the People TV, and on all the social media platforms, we are at VOP TV Live. Stay with us as we keep you updated on happenings around the nation protests. Here on VOP TV, we've got you covered. I'm Chisom Ainai. Good morning.